तुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तविंद। टुगेदर हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are on chapter 2. We have done up to verse 49. I think up to verse 48 we have done. So we have to start from
47, Prabhuji. I think 48 we have to do.
48 we have to do? Okay.
Hanji,
Okay.
Hanji.
Okay. So we did Karmanya Vadhikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana. I believe we
We
have
did
done.
48.
Yeah,
We
we
did
did 48. I
48.
believe
48.
I remember because we discussed upon the point of being equipoised. Correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So let's chant that verse again. Verse 48. योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते।
योगस्थ कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं
Sangam
त्यक्त्वा धनाञ्जय सिद्धिर्सिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा
Samadvam
समत्वं
yoga.
योग उच्यते।
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjun, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. So basically, now Krishna is taking us from karma kanda to karma yoga, and actually, he's taking us more towards the bhakti and asking us to remain equipoised, whether you get the results or you don't get the results. Is it possible, first of all? If you don't get the results, will you be happy? You will not be happy. How can you remain equipoised? Of course. So in order to get the positive results, we should try our best. That is there. And when you get positive results, you become very happy. And when you get the failures, negative results, then you are absolutely unhappy. So how is it possible? So that's the reason Krishna is asking us to do the yoga. Relate that to the yoga. Yoga means relate that to the Lord or union with the Lord, so that your results or failure, results of positiveness or negativity, both will be, you are offering it to Lord. Though we say that we are offering it to the Lord, does it mean that we should not try our best? No, we should try our best to get the positive results. And when we get the positive results, it is always happiness is there, but remaining equipoised means that you should not uh, undermine your efforts, undermine your connection with Krishna. Our connection with Krishna will always be there as long as we have our sadhana properly done, and then we are offering the results to Krishna. We do our work by keeping that in mind, that we are doing it for Krishna. And that's why we have to do our best in order to do that. So I can look beyond matter and I can think of spiritual reality. Is so samatvam yoga uchyate, means that the Equanimity about material things create the foundation by which we can practice spiritual life. It creates this foundation for the spiritual life. And that's how we look at any kind of work that we are doing in this material world. So every activity that we are doing, when we relate that to Krishna, so that is the best way of doing the yoga. So connecting ourselves with Krishna does not mean that all the time you are just chanting and meditating upon Krishna. The meaning is that keep doing your prescribed duty along with remembering Krishna and then doing your prescribed duty, so that the results that you get, whether they are positive or negative, you remain equipoised. Does it make sense now? Yeah. So we may get distractions while doing the work. Distraction because we are living the, depending on the ashram that we are into, we will get distracted. We get excited. Sometimes we get demoralized. So all those things are going to be there. The point is that be calm, be focused, be clear about the goal that we want to achieve and be equipoised then. So there is nothing in this world to get too excited about. There is nothing in this world to get agitated, too agitated about. Because it is all temporary. Even if you are too excited, how long you are going to get too excited? For some time. Again, the next thing will come which will bring you down. So remaining equipoised is the best way. Don't get too agitated. Don't get too demoralized. So there could be two kinds of distractions we have in this world. Distraction by pleasure and distraction by pain. So when we get either of these, distraction, pleasure or pain, we get excited or we get agitated. But we need to understand that actually neither matters. Why? Because both are temporary. So therefore, when we want, when we don't get too excited by these things, then we get focused on what is long-term goal. What is our long-term goal? Is to remain Krishna conscious and remain focused on our activity that we are doing it for Krishna. So suppose a person is driving and constantly look this side and that side and other side, then he cannot be focused. And he cannot go very fast and he can also meet with accident if he does that. So yoga means connection with ultimate truth, that is Krishna. But how will that connection happen? That connection will happen when I am not looking here and there at material things. So this looking here and there happens with my excessive agitation. So agitation has to go down. And agitation will go down only when I have a very good union with Krishna. And that union will happen only when we are practicing our Krishna consciousness without any issues whatsoever. And that is come to again our daily sadhana. Our daily sadhana, including the number of rounds that we are doing, plus reading, plus chanting, plus cooking for Krishna, offering the prasadam, doing the puja, etc. So there are so many activities that we do round the clock. Yeah. So all those. Any question? Because this is just a repetition of the last week. So I don't think there could be any question. Now we come to 49. दूरेण यावक कर्म बुद्धि योगा धनंजय
दूरेण हि अपरं कर्म बुद्धियोगधनञ्जय
धनञ्जय
बुद्धो शरणं वच्छि sorry बुद्धो शरणं वञ्छ कृपणा फलहेतवः
बुद्धौ शरणम् अन्विच्छ कृपणां फलहेत्वा
दूरेण हि अवरतिं कर्म बुद्धियोग धनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणम् अन्विच्छ कृपणा फल अचेतवा
दूरेण हि अपरं
एवरं
कर्म
कर्म बुद्धियोगात्
बुद्धियोगधनञ्जय बुद्धौ
बुद्धौ
शरणम्
शरणम्
अन्विच्छ
कृपणां
कृपणाफलहेतवा
दूरेण यवरं कर्म बुद्धियोग धनञ्जय बुद्धो शरणम् अन्विच्छ कृपणा फल हेतवः
दूरेण हि अपरं
अवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात्
बुद्धियोगधनञ्जय
धनञ्जय बुद्धौ
बुद्धौ शरणम्
च
अन्विच्छ
कृपणां फलहेतवा
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Dhananjay, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work, they are misers. So very clearly, very bold statement here now. Yeah. So those who are want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. They don't have the proper knowledge. They are misers. So hope you all have read the purport of this verse. Yeah, the silence says it's yes. I'm just assuming it now. So dure nahi, keep it far away. What to keep it far away? Avaram karma. Avaram karma. So vara is benediction and avara is opposite of benediction. So we you must have read the stories earlier, they have asked for so many vara. Char var bange, panch var bange, like that, So this is vara and avara. So dure nahi, keep it far away. Avaram karma. So vara is benediction. So without asking for any benediction, just keep them away and just keep them away. And by keeping aviram karma is an auspicious work. That is what Srila Prabhupada has explained in the purport as well. In the purport, he has explained that by keeping the benedictions away, Prabhupada says that it is abominable work. If you keep expecting the benedictions of the work that you are doing, then you are actually doing the abominable work. So why abominable work? Because durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. O Dhananjaya, put aside avaram karma. You should practice buddhi yoga. So Krishna has mentioned this in 2.39 as well earlier. The buddhi yogetva imam shrunu. Listen to me. Yeah. So practice buddhi yoga. Buddho sharanam anvichha. And Krishna has not revealed about himself positively over here yet. He does not talk about himself. He just talks, he just says that, just surrender to Lord. But he does not say that Lord is me. He had not said that yet. He's just saying that you just surrender to the Lord. And he says that once those who are expecting the results, they are kripada. The kripada phala hetavaha. So those who work for grading of fruits, they are kripada. They are short-sighted. They are narrow-minded. They are closed in their conceptions and their aspirations. So they don't think big enough. So just keep them away. Durena hi avaram karma. The Krishna is saying, with intelligence, keep away inauspicious work and don't seek the fruits of work. So what does it actually mean? So Krishna has talked about karma kanda, and he has said in 2.37 that you can get heaven if you lose. If you are killed in battle, what will happen? You will at least get the heaven. Yeah. Or if you are not getting the heaven, at least you will get the kingdom. And you will be able to enjoy that kingdom. So in both the cases, you are not at loss. So keep your duty as per dharma. Follow your dharma and do your duty as a kshatriya, because you are a kshatriya. So the dharma of a kshatriya is to fight, kill or get yourself killed in the fight. So Krishna has talked about two different things which are at two different levels. So Krishna is telling what I told you earlier is calculation of karma kanda. That means the analysis. Calculation means analysis. If you will do this, you will get this. If you do that, then you will get this. So that discussion was on the karma kanda level. That even if you are losing it, if you lose it, you will come to heaven. If you win, then you at least get the kingdom. So that's the material world thinking, that what is your loss? You are not losing anything. In both the cases, because you are working in the order, on the order of Krishna, you will be benefited. So don't run away from your duty. Keep doing your duty, and don't expect the results. If you are expecting the results, then results are also positive here. But that is the material world thinking, when you are thinking only on the karma kanda level. Why? Because human life can give us enormous returns. Although human life is temporary, it can give us eternal results. But those who are turns away and don't seek the eternal, but seek the temporary, they suffer. And what is their suffering? Their suffering is they stay in cycle of birth and death, and they don't again have to go through that cycle. Yeah. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha darshanam. Again, you have to go through the same thing. So if one wants to go beyond birth and death, then one should not be caught up in things which are in cycle of birth and death. So Buddhau Sharanam Anvichya, surrender with the intelligence and take refuge in the wisdom that I am not the body, but I am the spirit soul. And the soul is eternal, and I should seek an eternal destination. So Durena hi avaram karama. So this is the verse which will lead to misunderstand a devotee just by reading himself. If we are reading in the right direction, by then only we can get the right proper understanding of this. These questions will be asked and answered in the next chapter, that is third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. There he says that 3.1, 3.2, why fight? If intelligence is better than fruity work, then why should I fight? So here Krishna is telling, give up karma kanda and practice karma yoga. Though he is saying karma yoga, but is actually pointing towards the bhakti yoga. Use your buddhi. He's saying that use your buddhi to do that. So it's more towards buddhi yoga and bringing us from karma yoga to buddhi yoga or karma yoga. So how will practice karma yoga? By using buddhi. Kripana phala hetava. So people talk about being ambitious, that think big. This big, but ultimately what they get or what they think is small, only because they still think of success with the rat race. And the problem with the rat race is, even if you win, you will still remain a rat. Isn't it? You have to get ready for another rat race. So rat race never ends. One after the other, you are continuously going into that cycle of rat racing and never gets completed. One gets over, another one is there in the offing. So you are continuously going through that cycle. But if you do with a buddhi yogena, then what will happen? You will understand what I should do and what I should not be doing. Don't go with only with the bookish knowledge. Listen to what spiritual master is saying, what scripture is saying, and how I should be living my life as a devotee in this material world as long as I am here and performing my duty as a prescribed duty in the service to Krishna and the spiritual master. So we can choose infinite longing. One can have longing uh, for the infinite longing for the Supreme Lord. So when we are Kripana and we chew the fruit, no material fruits can satisfy us. Kripana means one who is miser. So we chew the fruits, we condemn for material suffering, we condemn ourselves to perpetual dissatisfaction in the material world, whereas we also get birth, old age, disease, and death. What does it actually mean? But if you are not eating uh, food that is not offered to Krishna, then you will always find some faults into it. Once you get the taste of the prasadam, then you start enjoying that prasadam more because it is being tested by Krishna. So when we offer offering plate to Krishna, we do all our Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and whatever Naivedya mantra that we know, we offer that to Krishna. Keep the food in front of deities for as long as the number of items are there in the plate. And we feed Krishna or whatever deities we have. Have you ever seen that some of the items have reduced in quantity when you keep it in front of Krishna? Nothing. Nothing goes, right? Because Krishna is such a beauty that that he can eat from ear, he can eat from his nose, he can eat from his eyes. He can do anything from uh, uh, any body parts, anything. That is Bhagwan. That is the beauty of Bhagwan, that he can do anything from any part of the body. So just by looking at the food, Krishna can eat it and he accepts it. When he accepts the food which is offered with love. So when you offer with love, he also puts his love into that. And then we take that and accept it with love. So then it completes the whole thing and comes as a complete harmony. Yeah. So we are making with love, offering with love, he accepts with love. And then when we have it afterwards, we also get same kind of happiness. Then chewing the food does not give us dissatisfaction. It gives us satisfaction because while making the food, we have not tasted anything of that. We make it by thinking about Krishna and then we offer it. We may go wrong initially, but slowly we get to practice how much salt to be put, how much uh, pepper to be put, etc. How much sweet has to be there, all those things. Yeah. So with practice, everything is possible. So as long as we are practicing, we should be able to meet the requirement that of the making the bhoga and then offering it to Krishna. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. Let's go to verse 50. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ube sukrita dushkrite.
बुद्धियुक्तो
बुद्धियुक्तो
जहातीह
उभे
उभे
कृतदुष्कृते
Tasmadhyogaya yujjasva yoga karmasu kaushalam.
तस्माद्योगया
तस्माद्योगाय
योगाय युज्यस्व
युजस्व
योगकर्मसु
योगकर्मसु
कौशलम्
कौशलम्
Buddhi yukto jahatiha ube sukrita dushkrite. Tasmadhyogaya yujjasva yoga karmasu kaushalam.
बुद्धियुक्तो
बुद्धियुक्तो
जहातिता
जहातीह
उभे
उभे
सुकृता दुष्कृता
सुकृतदुष्कृते
तस्माद्योगया
तस्माद्योगयुजस्व
युजस्व योगाकर्मसु
योगाकर्मसु
कौशलम्
कौशलम्
Once more. Varun, you are not pronouncing properly, so that's why I'm repeating it. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujjasva yoga karmasu kaushalam.
बुद्धियुक्तो
बुद्धियुक्तो
बुद्धियुक्तो जहातिः
जहातिः
उभे
उभे सुकृता
सुकृतदुष्कृते
दुष्कृते तस्माद्योगया
तस्माद्योगयुज्यस्व
युजस्व
योगकर्मसु
योगाकर्मसु
कौशलम्
कौशलम्
Yeah. So anyone wants to chant once? One who has doubt, maybe Sundara Mataji.
Can I try one time?
Yeah.
बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्.
Wonderful. Very good. Who else? Matajis? Any Matajis?
No, Prabhuji, I'm driving, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Mataji.
बुद्धियुक्तो जहातिह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगकर्मसु कौशलम्.
Yeah. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
की
jai.
जय
A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad actions, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. I repeat, a man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad actions, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. Okay. So, what Krishna is saying that Krishna is repeating here that has come in 2.38 as well. Tasma yoga yujasva. So in 2.38, Krishna says it was tato yuddhaya yujasva. So there it was yuddhaya yujasva. Here it is yogaya yujasva. So you can see the just little change in there. Yuddhaya yujasva and here yogaya yujasva. So there it was specific action which is talked about, that it is not identical but that is similar. So therefore engage in yoga. That is what Krishna is saying. So when you are unioning yourself with the Lord and then doing the service to Krishna, then the benefits that you get are much more better than what you will get just by doing the yuddha. So Krishna is saying similarly to what he is saying there, but here he is saying engage yourself in the yuddha by having union with the Lord. So what is the difference between the two? Yoga is general principle and yoga is performed in various ways. So Kshatriya yoga is performed through fighting for dharma. But others will perform yoga is another way. Brahman will perform yoga in another way. Vaishya will perform yoga in another way. So Tasmad yoga you just therefore engage in yoga, and then one is engaged in yoga, yoga karmasu kaushalam. This yoga is the art to all work. So it is interesting that kaushala means your art that you are using means expertise. That expertise, Srila Prabhupada has translated, is an art. So karma is action. So expertise in work, that is yoga. So yoga karmasu kaushalam. So what is this expertise? If somebody is very brilliant in playing guitar and the person says that I feel spiritually enlightened when I play guitar. So yoga karmasu kaushalam. So he can play kirtan using that guitar and he can feel better. So the expertise in playing guitar, that is yoga for him. Or some football player says that when I see the goalkeeper, the goal and the football and my foot, when I hit it, that is when I attain samadhi. I forget everything else. I go into yoga and that is my samadhi. So different people can be expert in different things. So it is the material expertise in absorption there of that is yoga, not exactly. Is that yoga? No. That is not the way Krishna is asking you to do. Oh, I play football and then when I hit the goal, I feel I'm in samadhi. No, that is not something Krishna is asking you to do that. Yoga, if someone is expert in something and absorbed there, he may feel a great fulfillment, which is quite extraordinary than our normal level of existence, where we are bored and distracted or unfocused. But just because we are absorbed in something that doesn't make something spiritual. What makes something spiritual is the connection with spiritual reality. It may be a physical exercise by playing football, just to keep the body in a very good shape. So yoga means connection with supreme spirituality or supreme spiritual reality manifesting as Krishna. So yoga karmashu kaushala means that expertise of working by which we become spiritually conscious and our work becomes Krishna conscious. That is actually karmasu kaushalam. So how can I think about Krishna when I'm doing my day-to-day work? It is not easy, but it is possible by practicing devotional service steadily so as I keep practicing gradually. So the remembrance of Krishna become easier and easier and deeper and deeper. That is how we will grow. Yoga karmashu kaushalam. Yoga is in the art, in work, expertise in work. Tasmat yoga, you just show. Therefore, now Krishna is telling how to do yoga. So, buddhi yukto, use your intelligence. And in the previous verse, also Krishna has talked about buddhi. So, he's asking you to use your buddhi to do your karma. All the good results of your past work and the bad results of your past will be jahatiha. You will be able to give them up. You will become free from all those. You will attain liberation that Krishna will mention, explicitly in next verses. So the important here is that Krishna's point is using the word iha, means in this world, in this life itself. So one doesn't have to go to many life for liberation. Just in this life itself, if you use your buddhi and by unioning with the Lord and do your prescribed duty, then you should be able to get positive results of this lifetime only. So you don't have to go through every birth in order to get the same great ultimate result in some lifetime. No. If you use it properly within this lifetime, my Guru Maharaj used to say, use all your skills in the service to Krishna. Can football be used in service to Krishna? No. Right? If you are a professional player, then play, and whatever money you give some percentage of that to Krishna. Yeah, that is okay. Because then you are at least using some money in the service to Krishna. All right. So better to use the skills that you have in the service to Krishna rather than having your own mental concoction that this is what Krishna is saying and I do this. No, that is not the way it should be done. What Prabhupada is saying and what Krishna is saying, there is a relation to it. And if we follow that way and then do our service to Krishna, then we are following the Krishna's way of doing our duty by offering ourselves to Krishna in that way. Okay? Shall we go to the next verse? Any doubt? Anyone? Any question? That's good. 51. कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ता पदं गच्छत्यञ्जनामयम्
कर्मजनं
कर्माज
बुद्धियुक्ता
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 हि
हि
फलं
फलं
फलं त्यक्त्वा
त्यक्त्वा
मनीषिणा
मनीषिणः
जन्मबन्धा
जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ता
विनिर्मुक्ता
जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ताः पदं
पदं गच्छन्ति
गच्छन्त्यनामयम्।
अनामयम्
कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ता पदं गच्छन्त्यनामयम्
कर्मजं
कर्मजं
बुद्धियुक्ता हि
बुद्धियुक्ता
बुद्धियुक्ता
हि फलं
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 त्यक्त्वा
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 मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धा विनिर्मुक्ता
जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ताः पदं
पदं गच्छन्ति अन्यमयम्
अन्यमयम्.
Ray, are you able to pronounce it properly or you're
The
finding
last
it
two
hard?
words. The last
Last
two
two
words is
words?
hard.
Okay. Do you want me to repeat it again for you?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyakta manishinaha. Repeat.
Karmajam
कर्मजं
buddhi hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha
Janma bandha vinirmukta padam gacchantya namayam.
janmabandha vinirmukta padam gachanti anamayam
Yeah. Gacchantya namayam.
gachanti
Gacchantya
anamayam
namayam.
gachantya anamayam. No, gachantya
Padam
namayam.
gachanti na anamayam. So
Gachan-
TY and A, they come together. Gacchantya namayam.
Gachantya anamayam.
Yeah. Makes sense now?
Yeah.
Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead into bracket. I repeat, by thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead. Excuse me. Okay. So after describing the last verse, Krishna will now describe something deeper. So now we understand that first time Krishna is referring in Bhagavad Gita a destination which is higher than the destination of Swarga. Now he's talking about liberation now. Now when we talk about liberation, there are multiple types of liberations. Okay, first of all, just keep that in mind. So which liberation is Krishna talking about here? Better than Swarga now. That is where Krishna is taking us now. So what Krishna is saying? Karmayam buddhi yuktahi. Dovetailing one's karma when one works with buddhi. And what one does with this buddhi? Phalam taktva manishinaha. One gives up one's attachment to the fruits. Such a person, Krishna says, is manishina. He is like Manishi. Manishi means the one who is conquered the mind. What is the meaning of conquering the mind actually? The mind always looks for super fishes. Mind doesn't see the deeper reality. Mind cannot think deeper. So in that case, there is a superficial level of thinking and living. But one who has conquered the mind can see the deep truths when a person becomes Manishina. The one who is Manishina, he can go beyond the superficiality of this material world. When the person is not attracted by external result, but when one is attracted by deeper spiritual reality, then Janma Bandha Vinirmuktaha. He get rid of Janma Bandha. He gets Vinirmukta and become freed from the cycle of birth and death. And Padam Gachanti Anamayam. Then we attain the eternal result. We get the supreme eternal result. Anamayam. What is that result? The place which is free from misery. And that is the liberation, what Krishna is talking. So Maya is the misery. And Anamayam is free from that misery. Yeah. So till now, Krishna has not talked about himself. So he doesn't say explicitly that the spiritual world, he says that simply that is the abode that is free from misery. The place which is, free from all the miseries. So padam gachanti anamayam. So you get entered. You're entering into a place which is away from all the miseries. Padam gachanti. Gachanti means get away from. So when we will practice spiritual life in this way, by staying detached from the fruits and by fixing the mind on spiritual reality, then one will attain the destination which is free from all miseries. So now after describing this, Krishna will again come to the point of how this attachment that we had, and when you think like a Manishina, then the attainment that you have, Anavayam, is beyond even the Vedas. It is reality which is actually richer and deeper than the reality which is talked in Vedas as well. So now Srila Prabhupada talks about one verse from the Bhagavatam, 10th verse, 10th canto, 14th verse, 14th chapter, 58th verse. It talks about Shamashitaye Padapallavam Plavam Mahat Padam Punyesho Murare Bhavam Buddhir Vatsa Padam Param Padam Param Padam 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 Yat Vipadam Nat Tasham. This is a very beautiful verse actually. Do you want to repeat this verse? Let's do that. It is in the first verse in the purport. Samasitaye padapallavam pallavam
Samasitaye padapalpapalvam
mahat padam punyayasho murare
Mahatpadam punyayasho murare
bhavam buddhirvatsa padam param padam
Bhavam
Vambudirvatsa padam param padam
padam padam yat vipadam te netasham.
Padam
Padam padam yad
padam
padam natesham.
Translation: for one who has accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Mukunda, or the giver of Mukti. The ocean of material world is like the water contained in a calf's footprint. Padapallavam plavam. Padapallavam, of whose calf's footprint, or the place where there are no material miseries or Vaikuntha is the goal, not the place where there is danger in every step of life. Every step of life, padam padam, we says, padam padam yat vipadam na tesham. So here, when you go there will not be any vipadam. There are no vipadas available anymore once you go to Golok Vrindavan. Padam padam yat vipadam na tesham. There is no miseries at all in every step of life. And that is why Prabhupada has, mentioned this particular verse. So this particular verse has been repeated in many places within Bhagavad Gita by Srila Prabhupada, because the context, every time comes. That's where Prabhupada has explained this verse with that context. But here, the context is that how when we go there and we go to higher reality, what are the benefits of going into the higher reality? The benefits of getting into the higher reality is that on every step that we have Vipadam here in material world, on the contrary, in the Golok Vrindavan, you will not have that kind of miseries at all. So padam padam vipadam na tesham. The Samspritayi, those who has taken shelter of Pada Pallava Plavam, the boat of lotus feet of Krishna, what are the characteristics? Mahat Padam. That is the great destination. Punya Yasho Murare. So one whose glories are auspicious, that Lord Murari, Bhavam Buddhir Vatsapadam Param Padam, Bhava plus Ambuddhir, the ocean of material existence, Vatsapadam, that Vatsa ocean, that vast ocean has become small as the water in a calf. So it is how easy it is to cross that ocean, isn't it? Earlier, we were thinking, oh my God, such a big ocean of misery that how are we going to, cross this ocean? But Prabhupada is put a particular verse which says that, it is like when you take Mukunda's shelter, then what happens? That misery becomes such a small thing which comes as the Pada Pallavam of calf. गाय के बछड़े के पांव के बराबर इतना छोटा. So now crossing that will be so easy because Mukunda himself is going to help you in crossing that. So those vipadas will be so easy to overcome because Krishna is there who is helping you out in crossing those vipadas. They are very, very small now. So, imagining and comparing the calves, the calves of uh, calves' small feet, in that how much water will come as compared to the ocean. And when Mukunda is with you, then what is difficult? Nothing is difficult to cross. Everything becomes so easy. But that happens only when you are into Buddhi Yoga with your complete surrender to Krishna, the Supreme Reality. And one doesn't stay in this world because he returns back to spiritual world, and then he will not come back again to go through the same cycle of birth and death. Yeah. Verse number 52, if you have no questions. Yada te moha kalilam buddhirvyatitarishati tada gantasi nirvedam shutavyasya kshutasya cha.
यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तसि निर्वेदं श्रोतावयस्य श्रुतस्य च
यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरतिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च.
यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तसि निर्वेदं श्रोतावयस्य श्रुतस्य च
यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च.
यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तसि निर्वेदं श्रोतावयस्य श्रुतस्य च
यदा तेह मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च.
यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति
तदा
तदा गन्तसि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च
Anyone has any difficulty in pronunciation? Okay, no calls. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and that is to be heard. I repeat, when your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Okay, anyone wants to repeat the translation? All right. Now, after describing in the earlier verse what Krishna has said, Krishna will give, again, come to the point how this attainment of Aramayam, which he says in 2.51, is beyond even the Vedas. It is a reality which is actually richer and deeper than the reality which is talked in Vedas. So we have to go beyond the Vedas. We have to transcend than the level of Vedas. With that, in 52 and 53rd verse, he will conclude this particular section that we are into, where he's taking us from Karma Yoga to Buddhi Yoga. So Kalilam is forest. He says that here, Moha Kalilam. So Kalilam is forest and Moha Kalilam is forest of illusion. So Krishna is telling Buddhir Vyati Tarishyati. When your intelligence goes beyond dense forest of delusion, in the forest of illusion, we see that not only the person is trapped, but his intelligence is also trapped. So we don't know what is the goal, which way to go. Sadhana and sadhya is not clear. So the intelligence is trapped in the forest of delusion, but when buddhi vyati tarishyati, when buddhi crosses beyond it, tada antasi nirvedam. So at that time, one will become indifferent towards shatobhyasya shatasya cha. One will become indifferent to all that one has heard in the past, or all that one will hear in the future. So we have already discussed about the sadhya, sadhak and sadhana. Can anyone repeat that? What is sadhya, sadhak and sadhana?
I'll try. I take that as a
Sorry,
yes.
I was on mute.
No problem.
Yeah.
Sadhya is the one that which we are aiming for. Sadhak is the one who is aiming for what is desired, and sadhana is kind of the journey or the process through which we aim to
Perfect.
achieve.
Yeah. So sadhya is Krishna for all of us. That is sadhya. So that's where we want to go. That is the goal. Sadhya is the goal. And sadhana is the daily practice that we are doing. That is the process that he says. Rishi said that. And sadhaka are we ourselves. So sadhya, sadhaka, that is we, and sadhana is the process. So by doing that process, we are reaching to that goal. That goal is to, to get to Krishna.
Mhm.
And if you follow that right process, then it becomes easy. So to follow that process, there are three things that we need to understand. There is Sambandha, Abhideya, and the Prayojan. Sadhya, Sadhak, and Sadhana. Similarly, so if we say it in a different order, so Prayojan is Sadhya, Abhideya is Sadhana, and Sambandha happens between the sadhak and the Lord Krishna. That is Sambandha here. So now it makes clear sadhak, that we get introduced to Krishna, then we follow the process by which we can attain Krishna. So that is the process. So that is Abhideya. And the Prayojan is to get Krishna ultimately. That makes sense now? Sadhya, sadhak, and sadhana. Once we understand that, then it becomes easier for us to discriminate between what we are trying to understand in every topic that we are discussing here. So sadhana and sadhya is not clear. So the intelligence is trapped in the forest of delusion. But when buddhir vati tarishyati, when buddhi crosses beyond it, tadagantasi nirvedam. So at that time one will become indifferent towards shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. So one will become indifferent to all that has heard in the past or all that one will hear in the future. So essentially, Krishna is saying over here that one will become free from misery, from that. What kind of miseries? The miseries of false hopes. What are these false hopes? Shotabhyasya shotasya cha. So these refers not just to the worldly sensual things which are here in this world, but he is also talking about scriptures. Even in the scriptures, there are promises of sensual pleasures, and they are promises of heavenly pleasures. So, Shrotavyasa, you may have heard about talk of all these pleasures in the scriptures, and you may hear something more in scriptures also. But this is also in the Vedas. But Krishna says, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. So go beyond it. Krishna is telling over here that don't get caught in these flowery languages of Veda, and don't get caught into that. And look for some happiness here and there by getting caught into the flowery language of Veda and remain on the Karma Kanda level. Transcend yourself from that level and go more towards Buddhi Yoga. Why? Because there are so many promises of material pleasures given over there in the Vedas. Of course, there is spiritual things are also talked about it. But we get caught up into Vedas flowery language, which shows us bhoga and aishwarya. So once we get caught into that, then person says, "Oh, forget about everything else. No, let me just enjoy. But this is better. Rather than sitting here doing everyday 2 hours of japa and then whole day doing this arti, that arti. Better I should do this, that, this. I'll do this puja and then let me enjoy. Yeah, someone has a question?
Buji, can I didn't raise that hand, but can
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
it's
please,
not a
please.
question, but correct me if I'm wrong. So
Okay.
what Rishiji said was pretty exactly what I was thinking, but I was also thinking, so Sadhya is Lord Krishna, Sadak is the student or worshipper,
Yeah,
and sadhana is the devotion.
yeah. That means the practice by which you are doing the devotion.
Yeah, or the process
Practice or
as
the process, what he is asking us to do, to follow that process.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. But don't follow the wrong practices.
Mm.
The process is right, but don't follow the wrong process, wrong practices, like getting caught into flowery language of the Vedas and then get stuck there. Go beyond that. Huh? So Shrutabhyasa Shrutasya cha. So when one become indifferent to all that one has heard, which one will hear in the future, then tadagantasi nirvedam. Then when you can come to know that you are free from illusion, when your intelligence has gone beyond forest of delusion, scaled the forest. What does it mean that intelligence has scaled the forest? It means that the intelligence is no longer deluded. Should I do this or should I do that? It is clear. I simply have to return to Krishna, and whatever I have to do to return to Krishna, that is all I have to do. I do not have to do anything else. So that understanding, when one gets, then one has to go beyond the forest of religion. There are various examples like Kulashekara and all those. When you read, you will get to understand those. Srila Prabhupada also, I think, have mentioned in his purport about the prayers of Srila Madhavendra Puri in the purport. So he says, in the Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee and acharya in the line of the line of succession. Sandhya Vandana Bhadram Astu Bhavato Bho Snan Tabhyum Namo Bho Deva Pitrascha Tarpana Vidu Mahakashmar Kshabatya यत्र क्वापि निषद्य यदा वो कुलशो कुरुतो समस्या कम सदृशः स्मरणं अतम गतिम हरिमि तद अलम मन्ये किम अन्येन मे. So yeah, kim अन्येन me. Yeah, kim अन्येन me. I was right. So person who is constantly and spontaneously remembering Krishna doesn't have to do all what which is the follower of Vedic Dharma has to do. So there is Sandhya Vandana, Gayatri, which is done 3 times a day. Sadhaka has to do it. I offer all glories to you. Be good to you. So he is saying you are good, but I am not interested. What about taking regular bath? He is saying, yes, it is good. I respect you. What about worshipping gods and ancestors? He says, I cannot do it. Please forgive me. So he is not entirely rejecting them. He is respecting them, but he is respecting from a distance. Saying that is not so important to do, like doing tarpana and remembering all the, your uh,
Ancestors.
ancestors, etc. That is not important. If you can do it, it's fine. But what is more important, Krishna will be happy when you remember him and do his archana, his vandana, his worship. Then he will be more happy. Then you do all these, what is written in the Vedas. Those are the flowery things that you get. So these are basically the answers to what Arjun has asked in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, what is the time? Almost 1.5 hours. So, Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes. Comprehending all kinds of prayers 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering his respects to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and is engaged in his transcendental living service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord Krishna, he has no longer to execute these different types of penances and sacrifices as recommended in revealed scriptures. And similarly, if one has not understood that the purpose of the Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engages in the rituals, etc. So when he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements, Krishna is not interested in that. Krishna is only interested that you remember me and worship me. Aham sarvasva prabhavo. Remember me and worship me. I will take care of you. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has given this message in some or the other way. But it is our Arjuna's duty was to ask these questions so that we get answers from all the angles. Yeah. Except Madhavi and Saloni, everyone else is wrong, I think. Yeah, I can't see anyone. Varun Prabhu is there, Padmaja is there, Sumandira Mataji is there. Yeah, okay. All right. I think that's becoming longer. Let's do Vaishnava Pranam. But those who want to stay back after Vaishnava Pranam, please stay so that we can talk. Yeah. Are we ready? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha vasindubhya
सिन्धुभ्य
cha
एव च
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नवेभ्यो नमो नमः
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रीमद्
जय
भगवद गीता की जय। श्रील
जय
प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय।
श्री
उपस्थित
कृष्ण
गौर
प्रभु जी
भक्त
की जय।
गोपीमानंदे।